You're now watching WLBT's Ask the Experts. I'm Kelly Boyd. Joining me in the hub is returning expert attorney Seth Thompson. Hey, Seth.
Hey, Kelly.
How you doing?
I'm good.
Good.
I appreciate you having me.
Yes. And the questions we have today seem like they are a lot about incidents, accidents, and injuries. So lots of people wondering what to do. Do they have a case?
Right.
So the questions come from our Ask the Experts page on WLBT.com. But if you have questions for Seth, please ask them while we're live. Okay. First accident of the summertime here. Swimming pool accident. My daughter was swimming at a friend's house and was injured when the parents weren't around. Do I have a case?
Maybe. And that, that's the answer that you have to give with pretty much any fact pattern, pretty much any injury is, do you have a case? Maybe. What that's going to depend on are many factors. How old were the children? Were the parents around?
This one says the parents weren't around.
And they weren't around, so in this case, depending on the age of the children. So if you have a child who's 15 and they are injured at a swimming pool, that's going to be a little bit different if you had a child who was 2 years old and they need some supervision. So depending on those kind of factors and whether the parents who owned that pool owed some sort of duty to those children, then maybe you may have a claim. Absolutely.
Okay. I was injured when an elevator malfunctioned. What do I do?
Kind of a tough question. So, elevators, typically you see those in commercial buildings, and they're either going to be maintained by the owner of that building themselves, or they're going to have a service company, which is more likely than not what you're going to see.
Okay.
So if you are injured when an elevator malfunctions, you need to contact the premises owner, let them know. Take pictures if you can to see if you can document how the elevator malfunctioned. And then, of course, if you're injured, go see a doctor.
Okay. All right. My smoke alarm didn't go off in an apartment, and we sustained damages from inhaling the smoke. Who's responsible?
It could be a few different parties.
Okay.
So if in this particular question that we have, the smoke alarm was in an apartment building, typically the landlord for that apartment building is going to be responsible for maintaining and upkeeping those smoke detectors. They're going to have to change the batteries out periodically. They're going to, and smoke detectors have a life expectancy, for lack of a better term. You're supposed to replace those smoke detectors every so many years.
Right.
But
you're supposed to change your batteries every 6 months.
You're supposed to change your batteries. That's right. So, but in addition to that, and that's the landlord's responsibility to take care of that for their tenants. But in addition to the landlord, there could have been something wrong with the smoke detector itself. Okay. It could have been faulty. And so the manufacturer of the smoke detector could be on the hook if you suffer some injuries and have medical bills and pain and suffering and that sort of thing. So a couple of different parties could be responsible to answer the question.
All right. My son was mauled by a pit bull. Can I sue?
It depends. Again, in Mississippi, we have what we call the one-bite rule. It's this old, archaic law that says you can't sue or you can't recover after a dog bite unless that dog has shown some sort of aggressive disposition in the past. So he doesn't necessarily have to have bitten someone in the past, but you do have to show and prove that the dog was aggressive.
Has shown an aggressive nature before.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right. And so if the dog, in this case, if this pit bull, if you can prove that pit bull was aggressive or that he'd bitten someone in the past.
Okay.
If that's the case, then you have a claim, and you can file a claim against the owner of the pit bull.
And the dogs, they typically get, is it true, they get a one chance, or does that include a bite also? Like if they've bitten once, they get a...
Right, and the rationale behind the law is that our legislators and our courts, when they came up with this one-bite rule, they didn't want freak accidents to be recoverable, right? They want you to be able to recover only if you can show that the owner of the animal was negligent.
Right.
If he knew or should have known that that animal was dangerous and didn't do anything to prevent that animal from hurting somebody, then you should be able to file a claim against them, particularly against their homeowner's coverage, and recover.
Okay. So it would have to be investigated to whereas the dog had been aggressive before.
That's right. You're going to have to speak with neighbors and other witnesses, anybody who had seen the dog in the past, who may have witnessed them showing that aggressive disposition.
All right. Next question. I fell downstairs at a local hotel and they were wet. I didn't see a wet floor sign. Does that mean I have a case?
Yeah, it does. So that's kind of your typical premises liability claim, where you're going to have to show that that there is a dangerous condition there that's not readily apparent. There's this defense to a premises liability claim called the open and obvious rule. So basically, if something is obvious, like water on the floor that anybody should see, and you step in it anyway and slip and fall, then yeah, you're probably not going to be able to recover. But in this particular case, there's water on the stairs. They didn't see it. There's not a wet floor sign there to alert somebody that there is a dangerous condition present. Yeah, you're going to be able to file a claim and try and recover against the hotel.
Okay. All right. I tripped on a raised threshold in a department store. Is that common?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, it absolutely is. And so it's common, but the question here, I think, is would I be able to recover after having
Probably so. Yeah.
after having tripped on a raised threshold? And what you're going to have to show there is that it wasn't readily apparent. So there's a raised threshold there. It's hard to see.
Right.
Maybe it's in a darker part of the store. And if that's the case, if there's not a sign there saying, hey, watch your step, like you see typically everywhere, watch your step or something to that effect, yeah, you could potentially have a claim if you do fall over that threshold.
Okay. Let's see. I was swimming at an apartment complex and I cut my foot on a broken tile. What advice can you give me?
First thing, you need to report it to the owner or the management company for that apartment complex. Get medical treatment and then talk to an attorney right away. We've had a claim that was actually pretty similar to this, and so what it's going to come down to is who is responsible. Who's responsible for maintaining these tiles in a safe condition? So it could be the apartment complex themselves, or they could give that responsibility to a management company who has to go around the pool to make sure that the tiles are safe. And that's just a good practice because when people are at the pool, they're barefoot.
Right.
And so
most often.
So you don't want to have sharp tiles everywhere that could cut somebody's foot.
Definitely not.
So you just have to be responsible as an apartment complex owner or the management company.
Okay. Good. The ceiling was leaking at a convenience store and I slipped and fell. How do I make a claim?
The same way that we've talked about, you need to report it to the owner of the convenience store and typically they'll do an incident report. Document it, get your cell phone out, take pictures of the area where you slipped. See if you can take pictures of the ceiling that was leaking and that sort of stuff. Look and see if there were any signs around, any wet floor signs, anything of that nature. But document it, then you're going to need to contact an attorney pretty quick because an attorney's going to have to get in and investigate this type of particular claim early. Very early.
Very similar steps to what you've told us about car wrecks. So
yeah, it's
pretty much you take pictures,
principle.
have witnesses, and call an attorney.
That's right. Just think about what you need
report.
to do immediately. If you're injured, get medical treatment right away. But other than that, try and document as best you can. That way you can tell your attorney what happened so that he will be armed with the most information to go help you pursue your claim.
Okay. All right. I work at a local plant and I inhaled chemical fumes. I got sick. What do I do?
Okay, this is more in line with what I do a lot of, and that's workers' compensation. So if you are at a plant, you're inhaling these fumes, it happens all the time, it happens everywhere, and you get sick. What you're going to do is just like any other workers' compensation claim, you're going to report it to your supervisor, whether that's the owner of the company or your manager or whomever, and then go get medical treatment and tell the doctor what happened, tell them where it happened, make sure that you explain to the doctor that this is a workers' compensation claim that happened at work. The doctor will know what to do.
Okay.
They see enough of these that they know how to handle it from there.
All right.
And then if your job gives you any kind of grief, be sure to contact an attorney sooner than later.
Okay. All right. I was washing my car at a self-service car wash and I slipped from all the soap on the ground. Do I have a case?
And again, that's one of those maybe. It's a very fact-intensive analysis to determine whether somebody has a case. So, you know, when you go to a car wash, especially a self-service car wash, what you can expect is that there's going to be soap and water on the ground.
Right.
Right? But there could be certain situations that you don't normally expect. Maybe the soap or the soapy water has hidden another defect, something like that that could cause you to fall and injure yourself. If that's the case, then yeah, maybe you have a claim. What they are going to defend that on is the open and obvious rule that we talked about earlier. Basically, you go to a car wash, you should expect there to be some degree of water and soap.
Right.
It's everywhere, and you just have to be careful.
Okay. I recently was on a cruise boat and I fell on the pool deck. I fractured my wrist from the fall. Oh no. Could you handle my case?
Yeah, if you can show that the cruise ship was negligent. So
Okay.
a very common misconception is that if I am injured on someone else's property, that I automatically have a claim, that they are automatically going to have to reimburse me for my medical expenses and my pain and suffering, my lost wages, all of that. That's not the case. What you have to show in this situation, just like any other situation, is that they kept the premises reasonably safe. You know, that they didn't have water out there without a sign, without a wet floor sign, or something to that degree. Now, if they did, if there was water on the ground and they knew or they should have known about that water and they didn't do anything to take care of it, to mop it up or to clean it up, then yeah, you're going to have a claim because at that point that's negligence.
Or at least post a sign.
Yeah, at least post a sign, yeah. So just alert somebody that, hey, there's water here, and that's just a good practice to have generally as a business owner, including a cruise boat.
Okay. So if you hurt yourself on anyone's property, you just have to prove negligence.
Yeah,
that's
you have
the
to
only
prove
way you have a
negligence.
case.
So it's not what we call a strict liability standard. So if you come to my office and you slip and fall, you don't automatically have a claim. You're gonna have to show that I did something that I shouldn't have done.
Right. Okay. Let's see. That may answer some of the next few questions. Let's see. I was at a pet shop and they were having an adoption day. There were a bunch of greyhound dogs on leashes by the front door, and as I walked in, one of their leashes wrapped around my leg and I fell. Do I have a case?
I honestly don't have any idea.
Not to laugh about your fall, it's just that they're all, do I have a case?
What you're going to have to look at here, you're going to have to see who's actually responsible for the dogs. In this situation, probably the pet owner is going to be responsible for making sure that the dogs are on a shorter leash and not being able to wrap around anybody else's foot. But accidents happen; they just do.
Right.
And so, not every injury is going to be a lawsuit. Not every accident will be a lawsuit.
Right.
So again, the analysis will come back to: did somebody do something that they shouldn't have done, or vice versa? Did they not do something that they should have done in order to prevent this particular injury?
Okay. Good to know. Next question is, let's see. My son slipped at a restaurant when he was trying to get into the booth. He knocked a large piece of his tooth out and his elbow struck the concrete floor. Is this a possible case?
Again, maybe. A couple of things we're going to need to know here. Was the floor wet? Was it dark? Was there a piece of food on the floor that your son slipped on? Is there,
or the booth dirty with liquid in it or something?
Right. So, and not only that, but did the restaurant owners or the managers of the restaurant know, or should they have known about that particular condition that caused your son to fall?
Okay.
So there again, not everything is a lawsuit, not everything is a personal injury claim. We do have to show some degree of negligence on the part of the owner.
Okay. Very good. I was playing miniature golf and the grass turf was sticking up. My sandal got caught in it, resulting me to twist my leg and popping my knee. Can I sue the miniature golf place?
There again, it comes back to yes, if they knew or should have known that this grass turf was sticking up. If it is a dangerous condition, and it obviously was, somebody was injured because of it.
Right.
But if you can prove that the defective condition, in this case the turf sticking up, had been there for a long enough period of time that a reasonable person knew or should have known that that turf was there and they didn't do anything to repair it, then yeah, you're probably going to have a claim.
Okay. Let's see. I see some questions coming from Facebook, but they don't seem to be related to personal injury. If we ask them, maybe you know someone to refer them to.
Yeah, I mean, yes.
All right. We'll get to you guys in just a moment. Let's see. As I was at a water park and I banged my head up at the end of the slide and I have a concussion, could the water park be liable for my medical bills? So it seems they've already sought medical attention, obviously, and knew that they had a concussion.
Yeah, I mean, they can. There again, I mean, water parks are pretty dangerous places in general.
Yeah,
right?
pretty
slippery.
slippery.
They are. They're slippery, and so they can be just kind of dangerous in and of themselves. But yeah, if you can show that, again, that the owners or even the lifeguards, some of the employees who work at that water park, if they knew or should have known that there was a problem there and then didn't take any steps to correct that problem and an injury results, yeah, you can make a claim.
Okay. Another, do I have a case? But they're asking for their mother. My mother slipped in a steam room at the gym and broke her arm. Again, steam room can be a
That is a slippery
slick place. Yeah.
That is a slick and slippery place.
A lot of them have posted also, enter at your own risk.
You do. You see that. You see that often, and so that's another defense is assumption of the risk.
Right.
That's an area that basically mitigates to some degree the owner of the steam room's liability, because we know that when we go into a steam room, it's going to be slippery. There's steam, and you're going to have condensation that collects on the floor, and so you just have to. You as the visitor to that steam room need to take a little bit of responsibility and take some precaution and make sure that you don't slip and fall.
Okay, let's see. I went to a movie theater and the room wasn't lit properly before the movie started. I tripped on the stairs and I almost fell down a full flight of stairs. Is the theater responsible for my medical bills?
You know, probably. They probably are. And this is something that we've all seen. Anytime you go to the movie theater, it is going to be dark, but you'll see a lot of times they'll have the lights along the stairwell to help you traverse the cinema, but there will also be a handrail.
Okay.
And so if those things weren't present, if you're walking down the stairs and it's too dark to see, and you fall and injure yourself, then yeah, you probably have a claim, because it's to be expected that somebody walking down dark stairs may fall and injure themselves, and it's preventable. You can put in lights, you can put in a handrail.
Okay. Good. Let's see. I was at work and they were doing construction all around the building. It sounds like around here. There are tons of wires in the hallways, and I tripped over them and sprained my ankle. If that didn't happen here. Should I apply for workman's comp?
Yes, you should. You're entitled to it. That's why your employer carries workers' comp insurance coverage. That's what it's there for.
Okay.
It's why I, as an employer, take out a workers' compensation policy so that if my employees are injured, they get the medical attention they need. In this case, this is an ankle injury. It's going to be what we call you're going to be making a claim for what we call loss of industrial use. It's a scheduled member injury, and what your company and maybe even the insurance company, what they're definitely not going to tell you is that you're going to be entitled to some compensation because of the injury.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, I would absolutely file a workers' comp claim. That's your right. You're entitled to it.
Great. Take care of your people.
Take care of your people.
All right. My mother was in a nursing home and sustained a bad fall. She broke her hip. She was supposed to be monitored outside of her room, but was not. Do I have a case?
Yeah, you do, and that's terrible. That's really, really bad. But unfortunately, sometimes we have to put our loved ones in a nursing home.
Yeah.
And we put them there so that they get the care that they need. And you pay money so that they get the care that they're supposed to get.
Right.
And in this particular situation, she was supposed to be monitored outside of a room. Wasn't monitored. I mean, there's a reason why she is supposed to be monitored. Maybe she has some ambulatory issues.
Okay.
But that's terrible. Yes, you can absolutely make a claim, even if it was just like a CNA or an attendant or something like that who messed up, and not a higher up, like a supervisor with the nursing home. You still make a claim against the nursing home in its entirety.
Itself,
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That seems to be all that came from the Ask the Experts page.
Okay.
Let's see what everyone on Facebook is saying. All right. Like I said, it didn't seem like they were going to be about personal injury. Sounds like a personal injury happened. What is the status of limitations for an assault or battery?
The statute of limitations for an assault and battery, that's going to be 1 year. That's what we call an intentional tort.
Okay.
So like for a lot of these claims that we were talking about, these premises liability claims, that's going to be a 3-year statute of limitations. But when you talk about intentional torts, when somebody intends to cause you harm, they intend to rob you or to assault you or anything like that, then you have a shorter statute of limitations time. And you have to bring that claim within 1 year or it will be time barred.
Okay. All right. Portia Bragg says, I have a question about someone selling me an unregistered car. I guess you could go ahead and ask it. And
Yeah, Portia, I don't know. You can call my office and talk to me, and we'll try and put you in touch with somebody. That's going to fall under what we call the lemon law. Mississippi has its own lemon laws like most states do. So I would need a few more details about your particular situation. And my firm doesn't handle those types of claims. We are strictly a personal injury firm, but we can put you in touch with somebody who can help.
Great. All right. And again, like I said, probably not personal injury. I have a question about probate of land. The actual question's not there, but
Okay.
let's see.
And there again, just contact my office. I know plenty of estate attorneys, and we can get you taken care of.
Okay. What does passed through files mean? Can I get it off my record if there's no conviction?
Okay, so I think what they're talking about there is they're talking about if you get a speeding ticket or something like that, and the prosecutor and the judge shows you a little leniency, and they will pass that to the file. Okay, you don't have to worry about that. It's probably not going to be on your record. There are a couple steps you can take to check and see if something is on your record, and then look at hiring a criminal defense attorney to have that expunged.
Okay.
And so we can help you out there.
Good.
Timothy, yeah.
That's my quarterback. Were you a quarterback?
I was a quarterback. He was the best offensive lineman I ever had. He was great. Thanks, Tim.
Cool. Okay, what is the penalty for leaving an alligator on the side of the road?
Well, alligator season is coming up, so I'm not really sure. There are a couple of game wardens who we may be able to talk to and see. I hope that I never have to find out what that penalty is, but that's an interesting question.
Okay, let's see. I saw another one. Hazel Nick says, "Hey Seth, you know Hazel?"
Hey, Seth, yeah.
Landlord-tenant law is eviction because of job verification legal. We're missing a word there, but I think we can piece that together.
Is eviction because of job verification legal?
Mm-hmm.
That I really don't know. I have no idea. I suppose what a lot of that will turn on is the specific contract that the tenant has with their landlord, but I really don't know. Again, that's one of those questions. There are areas of the law that we know about a little bit and some that we don't, but give us a shout and we'll help put you in touch with the right people.
Okay. Do you deal with or know who to get in touch with about someone being denied for Medicaid and disability?
Yeah, sure. We have some really good disability attorneys in Mississippi, and so I know several of those guys who are very good. Typically what you're going to do, like the question says, when you get ready to apply for Social Security disability, you're going to do that on your own. And if you're granted disability, great. If not, that's when you're going to hire an attorney to help you out with the appeal. Okay. And it can take a long time. It's super frustrating, I know, but yeah, there are plenty of attorneys around here.
Okay, let's see. And that was from Ashley Bryant. She also says he's in the hospital at Ochsner's. He had a stroke. They want to send him to a rehab facility. So Ashley
That's
can
terrible,
get
Ashley.
in touch.
I'm so sorry. But yeah, call my office. We'll have the number up on the screen here in a little bit. Okay. And I will ask to speak with me. I will put you in touch with a disability attorney. Okay.
Tell our viewers what is your website, and I think we have the phone number on the screen so that they can contact your office to learn more.
The web address is mtlawms.com. So you can visit our website, read about us, read about what we do, and you can also give us a call at the number on the screen, 601-300-3333. Just give us a call if you have any questions about anything legal. Like I said, even if we can't help you, we can put you in touch with the right people who can.
Great. That's very helpful. Thank you. And Maggio Thompson will be back with us in 2 weeks. That'll be July 25th. Is that going to be you or your partner, Mike?
That'll probably be Mike.
Okay. They've been kind of switching out every couple of weeks and coming in to answer your personal injury and legal questions. So thank you for that. And thank you all for watching. You can send your questions to us at our Ask the Experts page on WLBT.com. Thanks for watching. I'm Kelly Boyd. Have a great day.